All right, welcome back to Pop Health, and today we're having an update on Alyssa Fluellen and her business Silk. Now, I wasn't planning on giving another update, at least for another month, on Alyssa, see if there were any new developments, and crazy enough, there was a new development when it comes to the health and safety of children using her Silk's products that just arose a week ago. So Silk was her loungewear company that was selling loungewear, quote unquote. You'll understand why I say that in a minute, as well as pillowcases, bonnets, and other sleep, associated things. In the past week, she's been coming under fire, especially from this content creator. Please don't buy that, because of the way she's marketed her product, as well as a lot of just like safety issues when it comes to flammability of the product. We're just going to dive right into like what Please Don't Buy has to say.
As always, she's got those kids clocked in to be exploited. What do they sell? Oh, just the classic, Viscose pajamas. In case you're new here, Viscose should be illegal. Viscose is disgusting. Viscose is trash.
So as Please Don't Buy mentioned, basically Alyssa, in a way, calling the company Silks is a mismarketing project, because at the end of the day, the product isn't actually silk. It is called Visco. Basically, it is product that is derived from bamboo, and due to the chemical process that it takes to derive that fabric, it is a dangerous substance to be around and produce. The manufacturing process of Visco requires chemical. The wood pulp does not allow itself to dissolve and be spun into thread. It resists it, and something must be added, something to force this process to occur to loosen up the Visco. And one of the key ingredients in this production is carbon disulfide. Basically, it's a special substance used to dissolve the wood pulp, to be able to get the Visco into like fibers. But the problem is, for many years, carbon disulfide has been proven to be, harmful. And so basically, pure carbon disulfide is a colorless liquid with a pleasant odor that is a smell of chloroform. It has been known to cause developmental toxicity, female reproductive toxicity, and male reproductive toxicity, basically destroying your reproductive organs. And basically, under here from the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, exposure to carbon disulfide can lead to dizziness, poor sleep, headache, anxiety, anorexia, weight loss, changes of vision. It can also damage eyes, kidneys, blood, heart, liver, nerves, and skin, basically causing you long-term organ damage. And so this is the first red flag that, Alyssa has in her product, because under her FAQ, they said, your products cruelty free? And while we often view cruelty free from an animal perspective, like we're not harming animals in this, we need to give a full picture about, hey, this process is a very cruel process, and like the material we're using to make our hats, which is 95% visco and I think 5% satin, they are basically, harmful to the humans that produce them.
You legally in the United States cannot list bamboo as the fiber type on the care label. Sometimes what you'll have is companies that say it's 90% viscose, 10% spandex.
Yeah,
Sometimes they'll
what Alyssa's doing in her
use the
case.
verbiage 90% viscose from bamboo. Why? Because it sounds good and it makes you feel good, and if you don't know, it's actually a horrible process and literally just toxic chemicals, then it makes you feel good. So yes, viscose is the product of bamboo. Bamboo is not inherently a fiber. It has to be put in chemicals, literally like melted down virtually, before they can take that solution and put it in something called a spinneret and extrude the fibers, which they then turn into yarns to make fabric with. So yes, but no.
Even her claim saying that this is environmentally friendly is misleading, because oftentimes these viscose factories, they have to pollute and put stuff and products and chemicals into the water. Even before they're made into visco, they had to be put turned into wood pulp. Even the wood pulp in this example, a short distance from the plant, the river flows into the Baltic Sea due to proximity to the mill that creates wood pulp, basically, which has been located here since the beginning of the 20th century. The river became polluted. But as recently as 2017, one of the factories, and keep in mind, this is an article about factories that came from H&M. Keep that in mind. Basically, the factory in Nagda, one of their oldest, received the hardest criticism from the Pollution Control Board. The board supervises the company's active in the state and makes sure they follow environmental laws. The environmental authorities stated that the factory discharged polluted water in the nearby Chambo River And so to really circle back and really just give the main point of what Please Don't Buy wanted out of Alyssa, basically, Please Don't Buy just called out Alyssa basically for saying that her silks, which is not really silk, loungewear, bonnets, pillowcases, her silk products were made out of visco, and she wasn't marketing that correctly. She was making it seem like, oh, they're from bamboo, they have bamboo in it. And as Please Don't Buy, you legally have to mention visco product in your contents, which to Alyssa's offense, she did change the contents later on down the line and saying that these are visco, making it actual, like giving the actual content for it. But she then ramps it up to a point where she leaves this review under Please Don't Buy video. Basically, I stand by every product I've created, and so do my reviews. I actually love to send you a PR package so you can judge it in real life, not just on IG. You should try to start a business yourself too. Will be much more productive than spending your time bashing other people's success and hard work. I mean, your hard work comes from exposing your kids online. I don't know how much hard work you're putting into it, but whatever. Send me your address. I'll get that sent over to you. And as you can imagine, all heck broke loose.
Well, Alyssa, are you aware? I think you are aware that a lot of what you are doing with your brand is illegal.
Yep.
Right here on the homepage of your website, which is called Silks, and it doesn't have a single product actually containing silk. It says this brand is the first family matching sets and bonnets that won't slip off your little heads at night. First of all, apostrophe S should be in the littles, grammar error there. But at night. Really interesting that you chose to add those words, at night.
Yep.
Because I know you are very aware that all of your loungewear sets don't pass testing to be sold as sleepwear, as pajamas, yet here you are making a lot of these in prints that are clearly intended to be sleepwear. I've personally never seen anyone market a set to be worn during the day as dreams, and also having stars and stuff. But again, you are very well aware that it would be illegal to market them as sleepwear because they don't pass testing, which you say all right here. So why is it you are also photographing a lot of them with these bonnets, which clearly are worn when sleeping? And back to your words here at the homepage, at night.
So if that flew over your head, basically at one point, Alyssa was marketing this silks business as pajamas, as sleepwear, as sleeping bonnets, as pillowcases and stuff. And to be able to do that, you have to go through a strict testing product to be able to sell sleepwear, especially in the US. And going to the same page with the little girl, basically each garment is a third party tested and compliant with all applicable CPSC, flammability and chemical safety standards for kids apparel in sizes 2 to 14. We never use flame retardants or harsh chemicals, just a piece of mind woven in every thread. Basically, you're not supposed to do flame retardants or chemicals in any clothing because they can rub off and get into your skin, but that's neither here or there. Sleepwear and general apparel are two different things and go through two different strict testing requirements for flammability. And to thank for that, we can look at the Flammable Fabrics Act, basically enacted in 1953. The Flammable Fabrics Act was enacted by Congress to protect individuals from burns, fires, illness, and death as a result of highly flammable clothing. In 1967, Congress amended the FFA to expand its coverage to include interior furniture as well as plastic foam, and other materials used in wearing apparel and interior furnishings. And so when we talk about what is covered, general wearing apparel, the standard of flammability of clothing textiles codified at 16 whatever, provides methods of testing flammability of clothing textiles intended to be used for clothing, establishes 3 classes of flammability sets, and sets forth the requirements which textiles shall meet to be classified, as well as warns against the use of those textiles which will have burning characteristics unsuitable for clothing. That is totally different in another classification other than which children's sleepwear. The CPSC issued its standards for flammability of children's sleepwear codified in this number for sizes 0 to 6X, for sizes 7 through 14, to protect young children for unaliving and serious burns and injuries associated with ignition of sleepwear garments. And to just look at this again, she basically states that they meet the flammability and chemical safety standards for children's apparel in sizes 2 to 14. And yet there's only 2 different classifications when we talk about a testing for flammability in kids sleepwear. which are 0 through 6S and sizes 7 through 14. And so why is this really a big deal when it feels like we're just nitpicking over stuff? This is a big deal because she has marketed this as sleepwear. Like Mallory, I think, which is Please Don't Buy, this username's actual name, has said that your little heads at night. Like this stuff is being marketed as sleepwear and you don't even have the most basic flammability testing and, you know, backing to prove that you can mark this as sleepwear. And once this part of the expose was being, you know, spread throughout the internet, Alyssa actually changes her website basically to like delete all the marketing mistakes she had made. And even still right here, the original marketing for Yahoo and Google has even said shop silks, the first family matching sets and bonnets that won't slip off your little heads at night. Bonnets, pajamas. Right here, this is the prime example of it being marketed as a PJ business.
It's insanely illegal what she has done, and seeing like the magnitude of this business now, I mean, really only confirms for me that that's what really needs to happen. Like, they will do a full investigation on how she imported them into the country. Again, like all of the stuff on the website, all of the social media stuff, like, and the full deletion of it all only confirms, like, it's basically an admission to guilt. I mean, I think even if she didn't delete all of it, she'd still be found guilty, but that is literally saying, like, yeah, you've caught us.
And like the bad part about it too, the internet is forever, so they can just dig those files back up if they really wanted to, and just be able to say like, oh, you not only market this as a PJ business, but let me see the receipts on like how do you ship them, how do you get them in the country, where they're being made at. So to wrap all that up in a bow, basically the reason why people are upset at Alyssa isn't necessarily just because she's exploiting her kids. I mean, that's the main reason. But now she's also using false marketing to kind of like misrepresent what is, you know, being made to make these pajamas. Like, it's not silk, it's visco bamboo. It's not just bamboo, it's visco from bamboo, which is highly toxic and highly dangerous for even workers to be able to produce it. As well as the fact that she's marketing stuff as sleepwear when in actuality, like, she don't have the testing to be able to market that way. Because like I said, it goes through a strict testing regimen to be able to say, oh, I'm having these as pajamas, as bonnets, as this, that, and third, because kids are more prone to be injured in fires using sleepwear or pajamas. And so they go through a stringent testing process. And so I'm interested to see how this, you know, controversy keeps going. I think this happened like, I think a week ago. I think we're in day 11 of this. So definitely interested to see how it goes and see if there's any real consequences. Alyssa is having a pop-up event in LA. I'm interested to see if that goes off without a hitch. I'm gonna keep my ears to the street like always. But with that being said, this has been Pop Health. If you like what you see today, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that wonderful good stuff. If you want to see my other video about Alyssa, go to the comment right here. Other than that, stay warm, stay frosty, depending on what part of the country you're in. Stay safe out there. Peace out.